On this episode of Retro Rider, we'll check out one of the early Japanese superbikes, the 1973 Kawasaki Z1. Then we'll take a spin on the ultimate Italian replica racer, the 78 Bimotor SB2. And we'll step back in time for a spin on the 1948 Vincent Series B repeat. As a motorcycle photojournalist, I ride, test and review the world's most advanced machines on two wheels. Like any job, there's ups and downs. But one of the perks is I also get access to some of the greatest bikes from back in the day.
I'm out today in the beautiful countryside around Richmond, Virginia on a Z1 Classic. This is a Kawasaki 1973 900cc four-cylinder.
I think the Z1 900cc Kawasaki is probably the first true motorcycle you could say was a superbike.
It really does have a place in motorcycle history, and it could be quoted as the quintessential classic Japanese motorcycle. Innovative, modern, extremely fast.
It was probably quite a shock to go and see that bike, or if you had been riding all the bikes. I can't imagine if you'd pulled in on your 66 BSA with your drum brakes and someone said, hey mate, hey, take the old 900 for a spin, you know. You'd have come up with your hair standing on end. Ken, this is a real treat. We've got a 1973 Z1 Kawasaki original motorcycle. That's not really original, is it?
Not completely original, no, but it's been restored.
It really did fool me when I first saw it. I thought, there is an original motorcycle. I looked down at the clock, I saw 28,000 miles, faded speedo, a couple of chips and nicks in the gas tank. And it was only when I got into a conversation with Ken that I realized this bike has actually had a ground-up restoration. It was just Ken's choice to put it back where you wouldn't know.
I chose not to make it into a museum piece, but a bike that you could actually ride and give people a nice thrill when they saw one go down the road, if they in the past had one or had friends at one.
And you know, that's part of what I really like about meeting Ken and riding his bike, is that that's the way he wanted to do the bike. When he looks at the gas tank and he sees the chip, he said, yes, that's the chip in the gas tank that would happen if you were clumsy when you were lifting the tank.
I worked on these things when they were new. And if you weren't careful when you went to take the tank off, you would run the bolt right into the tank right there. And that's what that scratch is from. So I know the character of the bike.
When I found out that he'd completely taken this thing to bits and redone it to make it look like it hadn't been apart, I became an even bigger fan of Ken and the bike. And that absolutely is one marvelous motorcycle.
And just from a visual standpoint, stepping back or taking a look at the Z1, you see this beautiful inline four-cylinder air-cooled engine.
The frame's been powder coated and the engine's been powder coated, the original black, so that it wouldn't peel off like the factory had issues with in the beginning. The paint, however, the meters are all original, and you can see there's some fade involved in them, and there's some nicks and scratches involved in them. New fenders and new turn signals. Turn signals being metal. I don't think they make metal turn signals anymore.
These were plastic originally?
Yes, they were originally plastic.
Yeah.
New shock absorbers. The exhaust system was a hard find. Everybody took those off.
Ken spent some time explaining today about his mission of discovery to get those original exhaust pipes.
What would happen is, first of all, the majority of them got thrown away.
Yeah.
The first thing they did was modify it, put a 4-into-1 system on it, and just can the other ones. And
so
I'm guilty of that myself. I probably threw away 50 sets, thinking nobody would ever want them. So I did finally find a complete set of 4 mufflers. They are original mufflers from the factory. You know, so that engine's been done, the crank's been out, it's been re-ringed, it runs perfectly, the carburetors have been overhauled, there's new shocks on the back, there's probably all new fork oil, bushings, bearings. So consequently the bike runs, you know, as good, if not probably better than the 1973 Z1 did when it came off the showroom floor. But, you know, 73, electric start. I mean, electronic ignition,
It's pretty sophisticated.
Yes, when you consider the old British quote from the 60s, nobody needs disc brakes and electric starters.
Anything we need to know here going through the starting process?
Well, the bike has been ridden today, so it's already warm. So really, we want to make sure that the fuel is on, like most motorcycles. This did not have an automatic fuel petcock.
Right, we hadn't got vacuum gauges. But
and then simply it's a matter of the choke lever if it's cold, and then to turn the key on. And actually, a modern bike wouldn't start that easily because it would need to be choked and choked and choked, but these were jetted pre-EPA, so they start very easily, and it's running idling now with no choke whatsoever.
Yeah, you ride a bike like that from 1973 and you wonder what is the big fuss about fuel injection. If they could get it that good 38 years ago, I mean, I've ridden bikes with modern fuel injection that would give you more fits and starts than that bike, and that's quite a testament to the bike and to Ken's tuning.
Minimal effort needed to lean into the turn. Very intuitive.
There's nice wide American style bars, that came on obviously an American model, that allow you to flick the bike back and forward.
One thing about the wide bars is it disguises the weight of this motorcycle. Tipping the scales around 520 pounds thereabouts. It moves very easily from side to side with just the lightest nudge on the bar, so you don't really realize it's got such a big bike.
I never rode one that was as nice as Ken's.
And I'm really feeling at home. Now, of course, if I want to, I can just go down a couple of gears and boy, she'll take off. And there's a lovely input roar when that happens.
Very impressed, very impressed. How could I not be? Out on those country roads today, 40, 50, 60, 65 miles per hour, I don't know how much more could have been gained by having a modern motorcycle. And if you do enjoy tinkering and fixing and getting on a bit of a scavenger hunt to find the bits you need, and then getting into interesting conversations with people like Ken and people that really enjoy this genre of motorcycles, I think it's a fabulous way to go.